here. Right. So all the introduction stuff, I'm probably just gonna do like probably upstairs.
Yeah.
Like I'll just introduce
Absolutely.
everything.
Yeah,
In
for
fact,
sure.
I already recorded it. It's
Oh, that's
in
good.
like the introduction
Yeah,
part.
for sure.
where I
About the
mentioned,
hotel and how many,
yeah, your name and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna just jump in. So that way
Okay.
we just jump into the
Okay,
stuff.
perfect.
All right. So Chef Jennifer Ballantyne, it's so amazing to be sitting here in this beautiful hotel. So tell me about the exact moment you realized that being a chef was your true calling.
I think it was, no, I know. Like when I was a young child, I knew because my family was always cooking, right? So my aunties, I've mentioned this before, where like my aunties or my granny, my mom, it was very a part of our upbringing, to see that part and that family and that tradition. And all of them were just such tremendous cooks that I was like, ooh, maybe I can, really be a part of that. So we were very fortunate to see that growing up, and I just loved it. And I loved it as a kid. I remember watching all of these cooking shows with my mom, and that was like our bonding for sure. Like we bonded completely over food, and so that was really nice to have. And I just knew that I wanted to be in culinary. I didn't actually teeter from a lot of options. I wanted to actually experience culinary.
Wow.
And I wanted to experience it on a more professional level as well, because we've been cooking for so long growing up. So it was very nice to have the opportunity to go to RRC, Polytech, which was Red River College when I had taken it. So I took the culinary arts program as soon as I went, okay, I think maybe I can do this. And then what would the next step be if I really wanted to do this as a career? And that was an easy transition. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows, you're Red Seal.
Yes.
So I know that that's like distinguishable. I don't know what it means exactly.
Yeah, so Red Seal is like, it's a certification, right?
Right,
So
yes.
it's a certification in one's like chosen profession, right?
Okay.
So if there's an electrician or it's of the arts, it's just a test of knowledge and a test of like your commitment. So it kind of just shows you what you've learned, and you have to essentially like apprentice under like another Red Seal chef, right? So you're being taught by other culinary professionals, and it takes a while to gain the hours to be able to do something like that.
Wow.
Which is nice. And then it's just like this huge exam that you have to, that you got to get prepared for, and you have to ask the questions, but it takes time to practice and to hone your skills and to really dive into the technical side of it.
I find this stuff so fascinating. So this is why, like, I'm the worst person to have conversations with, because I listen to stuff and then I just digress into all kinds of things because you say stuff that's just so fascinating.
Yeah.
So, like, what's a test like that's so intense for chef? Is it like one of those shows like Chopped or something like
so
that?
like when you're in culinary, you actually get to participate in like a black box competition or something like that. So that's more like you don't know what you're cooking and you get challenged, right? And that's part of like the culinary program when you take the 2-year. Correct me if I'm wrong if they've changed the program since way back when, but
not that long ago.
Right? Yeah, not that long ago. But yeah, so it's just like essentially they teach you how to use ingredients, how to fabricate them, what would go together, and then they challenge you, right? So they challenge you with a dish that you would create, and you don't necessarily get to prepare for in advance. So it's one of those things that I'm going to give you as an instructor these X, Y, Z in components, and you take the skills that you have learned and your passion, and you create something utilizing those like proper techniques. So that's fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that your mic is okay.
Okay.
So if you don't mind just unclipping it and then just face it towards that way. Yeah. And then put this underneath.
Okay.
Gets a magnet. Yeah. And then you could attach it. There you go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Just so it's actually right in front
That
of your mouth.
feels a little bit more sturdy too, so
Yeah. Because sometimes what happens if it starts to rub against the fabric, I don't want that sound in there. Yeah, so it's just better like that because it doesn't look pretty, but who cares? We just look
No, it looks
professional.
great. This is perfect.
We look
It's a little
professional.
walkie-talkie.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's perfect. I want one of these now. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I know your culinary journey really started by watching your aunties and grannies cook back home, as you just said. So how does that Did I not? I didn't ask this question, did I? Did I just ask a question about
Yeah.
your Etsy
Well, I
secret?
think it's because you ran through the questions with me.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
why. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna ask it. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, how does your upbringing on the Opaskwayak Cree Nation show up in the food that you make today?
Okay. So this is it's more like, I feel like it's more meaningful in the sense of having an opportunity like something like this that, I think in the back of my mind I'd always waited for, and there wasn't a lot of I would just say there just wasn't a lot of opportunity, a lot of people talking about Indigenous food and all of these like growth opportunities, or people coming to terms with this excitement that they've always kind of sat within themselves, and we get to see that now, right? And so back when I was going through culinary and like kind of growing up with seeing this, I always knew that cooking was one of those things that I wanted to do, because it just felt so like I was home, right? It felt like it connected me to my family, which you just hold so close to your heart. People have different traditions and they have different, memories, but one of the things that I really connected to food was family, right? And when we were kids, we got to travel with our grandparents and we got to do that. So we got to see even our extended cousins and our extended grannies and grandpas, like, either where they produced the food for us and we would cook it, or they would make jams, or they would make bannock, and we were having tea a lot. And it was just like a community and a feeling of family when we were younger. And we just were running around like little kids, just trying to take bites of everything when we were growing up. So it was just really nice. I really...
So it's more like a family kind of feel in
the way that I wanted to do culinary,
Okay.
right? I just knew that was something that I was really proud of.
That's amazing.
So I just, like I said, when I got this opportunity to do this, it just felt like a snap and a light bulb that I was like, wow, we get to actually, be on treaty land and represent our culture, which is really nice.
In such a big place too.
Yeah,
like this
absolutely. There's a
hotel,
great,
in terms of like it being the first Indigenous hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, all the pieces together. Like I could go on about this hotel, how much I love being here.
It's so beautiful.
It is. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
love it.
and it's really nice to have, like, in the environment. I think there's a lot of us, because we're in the kitchen, and there's a lot of Indigenous young cooks in my kitchen as well, and I can feel the excitement come out through them, which is really nice. So it's not just about cooking; it's about pride, like a sense of pride, right? Which is nice. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And this is not here, but I learned a lot about this. So in terms of the ingredients, like how do you, like, what's the process behind that in terms of sourcing and things like that? Like I'm sure obviously you're paying attention to Indigenous in like the way that like foraging and things like that. Like I don't know. It's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, one of those things that because it's a professional kitchen as well, right? So we there's contracts with suppliers, and that you have that in your connections throughout the city. And when we developed like the menu, when I went through it, I just really focused on a lot of Manitoba products as well, and I really focused on local, right? What could we do to highlight Manitoba specifically, and then integrate some kind of traditions that we had or I'd had growing up.
Right.
So it was, I would say that it was, for the most part, I felt like there was a lot of excitement but pressure, right? Because I didn't want to disappoint anybody, and I didn't want to disappoint like all of these Indigenous communities that are so proud to have us offer them food here, right? So when we get those connections, I just really wanted to make them proud, and I wanted to make my family proud. And so I'm so glad that we get to do that here every day, and then we get really great feedback, which is really nice. Yeah.
Well, here's more feedback. Definitely not disappointed.
Thank you.
The bison taco that I had on Bannock,
Yes.
like out of control.
Oh, good.
Like I don't know. The only complaint I have is not enough napkins.
Okay.
So that's the only thing that I will say.
We need more napkins. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
But I was just like, and the way the bison was seasoned, like incredible. And of course, I love Bannock. So that combination is almost like where was this my whole life? And
Yeah.
for the record, while I'm here, I'm going to be eating as much bison because we don't have bison really in Ontario.
Right.
So I'm going to eat as much as I can here.
Yeah,
And then
you have
this
to.
morning I had the bison, like the meatballs
Yep.
with the egg.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of things where it's traditional, but still eggs. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and
So I
absolutely.
love how you mix that in, and it's just perfectly done.
That's so great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Right. It, like I said, with the menu development, my thought process is just about what would I love to eat, right? But I really want to think about like the communities as well, right?
Nice.
So when we talk about that, I want those familiar pieces that somebody's like, wow, you know, this is what we're doing at Manoomin, and I want them to be excited and come back and see what we can do when we change menus over and all of that stuff, because it's super important to, like I said, highlight those ingredients, right, that we didn't see previously and even recently. So we just really want to be part of that opportunity and have some fun,
Yeah, of
essentially.
course.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point of doing it if you're not having fun?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so we talked about some of this already, but walk me through your signature dish here at Manoomin. What do you want guests to feel when they take that first bite?
Okay, so I think it's this one's a little bit easier for me because I think the signature, it's really not a dish, but it's the bannock. So for me, it's one of those things that I was very nervous about, right? There's a lot of different
that's like a main
styles,
staple.
and it is a staple,
Yeah.
right? And we grew up eating bannock, and it was, you know, I have a culinary background, but the bannock is more traditional, and it's more, you know, sacred to, you know, somebody's like history, and I didn't want to overshadow that at all. I just really wanted it to shine, and that's why we use it in so many different ways, right? So how can we use this? Some may say the simple, but not so simple, right? You know, piece of history, and how can we, you know, be inventive and creative with that without losing ourselves and our voices with this. But bannock was the one thing that I was like, okay, if we get some, if people like the bannock, I will be very proud, and I can rest my head and all of those things. And then teaching the bannock, right? So teaching the bannock is really, because it is about feeling, right? Like when we talk about culinary, it's about, you know, your measurements and your consistency and your product control. But bannock is a feeling, and it's something that you have to get used to it by, you know, how much water you put, or your flour, or the, you know, the humidity, or
So it's
how
not
much.
necessarily about chemical mixing.
Not really.
It's more about feeling.
It's more about feeling.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
putting salt in here. I know how much it needs to be.
Yeah, and
but I'm not
sometimes people,
actually measuring it.
we do, but we do have a recipe for it. But I do see the difference in you know, our team's bannock.
Okay.
So there is a difference that people, each person actually has.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that, because the recipe doesn't change, right?
So it's more about, so to your point, it's about how you felt when you were making it is what makes it different from how someone else felt when they made it.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really one of those like really calming kind of concepts about you know, just putting your hands into something, into a dough, and just really experiencing that, because we make it all day, every day.
Wow.
And it's really nice to see all of our young cooks as well just really be like, hey, oh my goodness, I didn't realize I get to do this as a part of their jobs, right? So it's fun for them, because we can tell the difference, for sure. They can tell the difference from mine to somebody else's.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
it's great.
That's so cool.
It's great.
Every time, like, I just keep learning stuff, and it just blows my mind. Like, I never looked at.
Yeah.
I mean, I eat bannock because I absolutely love it.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. I was like munching on it in the kitchen too, and I was like, oh, it's just there
my
now.
favorite thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, like even this morning, like I just had it on the side because I'm going to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it so much.
You're here. You have to have it.
Yeah, and then even your colleague Rhonda brought some up to the room.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah,
I was
okay.
like, oh my gosh, I love this so much.
This is great.
But I never knew that you could go so deep with it like that. So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow, that's
And the
fascinating.
versatility, right? And
Yeah.
I think it's kind of one of those things that it's such a great base that you can really be as creative as you want to, but you always want to bring it back to traditional, right? And you always want to bring it back to
Because you don't want to lose.
You don't want to lose
Yeah,
that,
I
you
hear
know,
you.
too
It's
far
just a
in.
balance.
Yeah,
I see what you're
absolutely.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair. And especially since you're making it for other indigenous communities,
Yes.
you definitely don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, fair. And I hope you would say the Bannock because I had a follow-up question around that. But
Okay.
you already, I was gonna, if you didn't mention it, then I would have mentioned it.
Okay,
But you
okay.
mentioned it,
Okay,
so I'm gonna go
perfect.
to the next question
Okay,
now.
awesome. Okay.
All right, so the space that we're sitting in is groundbreaking. Winnipeg's first Indigenous-owned urban hotel, right here on Treaty One. Keep wanting to say Tweety,
Treaty.
Treaty
Yeah.
One territory. How does cooking in this specific culturally rich environment change the intention you bring to work every day?
Yeah, that's a great question. I didn't really recognize how powerful it would actually be until I was able to experience it, right? So sometimes when you go through these things and you've been in the industry for so long, you're doing things just out of like habit. It's like habitual, right? You know these techniques, but here I find it so important, and I just get filled with this like immense amount of pride when I'm here. And so like the push and the go and the drive just seems to elevate, you know, my desire to want to make sure that we're making people happy here, right? Because it's so important to a lot of, you know, Indigenous communities, and we want to make them proud, right? And we want them to be happy, and we want our teams to be happy and inspired. But the sense is always like, it just kind of makes me flutter a bit. Just every once in a while, and I go, oh my goodness, wow, we get
Take
to
it
do
all
this,
in and like,
right?
yeah.
Like this is great. So
Yeah, you should take
it's
it all in because it's
absolutely,
amazing. Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, I would say that kind of hits me every
Yeah.
once in a while. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
wicked. I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's such a great answer. Okay, so we're almost done.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
being the executive chef is a massive undertaking, but I know you've mentioned being incredibly, having incredible support here. So, what does it mean to you to have that family energy and backing from the hotel team?
Yeah, like, and I mean, it's just that, right? I think we just go through things together. I think that's an important part of being a part of a really strong team, right? We have people that are, you know, experts in their fields, and the collaboration keeps us going, right? So, and especially like with my team in the back, right? It's very nice to see, you know, especially young Indigenous cooks who are just like experiencing the kitchen for the first time. It feels good to be able to say that, you know, if I support you, they support me, right? Like, I think that's a huge part of mentorship and, you know, communities in general. So that's no difference when it comes to a team dynamic. It's really important to understand that, you know, we're not perfect, and we're going through this like journey together. And as long as we come to the table with honesty and openness, then there's really nothing we can't do, right? Because things are going to just keep developing, and like I said, hiccups occur. But just staying open and positive and really understanding that, don't forget about how great it is of an opportunity to be working on treaty land. It's a tremendous amount, and the feeling of it and the importance of it. It's not just about the food; it's about the people, right?
Yes.
And that really determines whether or not, you know, one can be happy in such a high stressful environment. You want to make those connections, and you want to make them based on something that's honest and right and exciting. So we have that, which is nice. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I have a exit question because you mentioned like because you're mentoring. So I know like I've hung out like in some other like reservations, like for example in Kaniasik culture camps up in like 4 hours north of Saskatoon, and they do a lot of land-based teaching there because they're very concerned about teaching the younger generation coming up to make sure that they
can
understand,
hang on to that knowledge as well.
hang on to the knowledge, right?
Absolutely.
Because they realize that the elders are passing and they're taking the knowledge with them. So they're very cognizant about making sure that the younger generation. So how does that translate here in the kitchen?
Yeah, like I think that the idea of teaching somebody is so unique to one's like journey, right? Like for me, it's extremely important, which is why I also take not only like young Indigenous people who have never worked in the kitchen, but from like the college, right? I come from RRC Polytech, so we take a lot of students and we take a lot of and we give that opportunity. They actually have an Indigenous program at RRC, which is great. It's a one-year program, so we collaborate so that somebody can have the opportunity to come here. But like I said, teaching is one of those things that super passionate about. I've been doing the student collaboration for many years. But if you get a student that's excited and they just get it and they hop into that mode of, they understand, the overall picture, right? It's such a cool feeling. So it's really nice, right, to watch them progress and grow.
Yes.
And there's a couple in my kitchen right now that started off at like a prep, and they're like running banquets, and they've come a really long way. Yeah, which is great, and that's what you want out of being like a teacher or a mentor, right?
Yeah.
You want to be able
knowing
to
that they can handle it now on their own. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I have one specifically who'd been here and started as a dishwasher, like prep person, and now they just went full force in banquets, which is really great. Yeah,
that's so wicked, and I love that you said that. Most people never really see themselves doing that until they're actually there doing it, and they're like, wait a minute, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then now they found something.
Absolutely.
And they can accredit you for that, for example. Like,
but it does come from them, right? Yes, I'm there to oversee them, but like passion, it just can't be taught.
No, of course
right?
not.
Like if you have that urgency, and I can see it in their eyes, because that's what I had when I was being taught by my instructors or chefs or whatnot. So it's nice to see that concept when they've completed something and it looks so great, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty
It's nice to be able to guide someone who already has a passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they'll do whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like you could guide them in the right direction, and I like that role as well, just guiding people.
Yeah.
Like, and you
gotta see where they're at and where their comfort zones are, right? But I love when they get a chance to be creative and they show me their dish or something, and I'm like, wow, that's great. Like,
that's so amazing.
They're just killing it, so it's great. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right, well, I don't want to keep you. I know that you're back there cooking. You got stuff to do.
I'm like, is it? Yeah.
I
don't know.
Keep
Parsley,
talking
I have something on me. Yeah.
That's okay. It makes it all authentic.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
But thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule to sit down and chat.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wanted to say as a final, what do you want people to take away when they come to this restaurant or to a hotel in general? What would you like them to take with them when they leave?
I would love for them to feel that we care about what we do, and it really shows through the consistency of our product and our teamwork, and how we even greet people, and we want them to feel welcomed and taken care of, and satisfied in their tummies, which is great. It's always a bonus.
Yes.
We just want people to just return and just come back and support. And they do, which is so great. And we're very, very grateful for it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much.
I'm going to stop this.